Alright, the good Lord got me. He taught me another lesson in patience. A lesson that I'm going to pass on to you today. And this is more or less, it's going to be an extension of my last video. The one where a friend of mine sent me a chart in relation to cryptocurrency. And on this chart, the pattern that it represented was, just your typical chart lining. And then you get to the spot where it's three crosses. The middle one being red. Now obviously the middle one represents Jesus on the cross. And when he shed his blood, the blood of the Lamb, and that would tie in with the middle cross being red. But what I did was, there was a number below that middle cross. Just random chart number. It had nothing to do with anything that I've ever researched before in the Bible whatsoever. But if you followed through my previous videos, you would know that I utilize pi. And I'm not a mathematician by any means. I'm not some number genius. I just recognize specific numbers. They stick out to me and I always look them up. And 99.9% of the time, they always bring back something that I need to see. So, and I know to some of you just tuning in, this is like, what the hell is this guy talking about? He's nuts. Kind of, I guess, I am crazy, and it's like, you don't have to be crazy to watch my videos, but I can train you. So, in the last video, I took those numbers, and it was like 0 point and then 7 numbers, I believe. I started after the decimal digit, so it'd be 0 point, and then whatever the 7 numbers were, I added those in. Now, I took those numbers and I put them in pi, right? And then when you put those numbers in pi, it tells you where that stringent of numbers actually exists within the pi decimal location area. So this one ended up being in like the millionths of the digit, because when you're searching for specific sets of numbers, the bigger the number gets, the more likely it's going to get further down the pi stringent. So simple numbers like 2-digit, 3-digit numbers, you'll find in like the thousands, but once you start doing multiple digits like 5 and above, you get up in the millions. And I'll point that out again when I'm doing the video, so you'll actually get a full understanding of what I'm saying. But I put those in pi, and I took the digit location where they actually fall into the pi algorithm, or whatever you want to call it. I took that location and I just added them up as it laid. Now when I say as it laid, I meant by the commas. So it's like 1 million, comma, 237,000, comma, 650. I don't think that's the number, but we use that for an example. So the commas become plus marks. And you add the numbers up as it is, and it gives you a word. And this is what we're going to pick up and start off on the second set of numbers that I totally overlooked from the first video. Fun fact for the day. When you was a child, what color did you use to draw the sun? Did you use white? I remember using yellow. Why is the sun white? Alright, more time has passed. Back again. Back to the chart. I think it's under, here we go. So, this was the chart that we used in the last video. And I'm going to zoom in right here. You see the 3 crosses, the red one in the middle, and then you have the green one on each side, the left and the right hand. And below that you have a set of numbers, 0.3229389. I took those numbers and I went to the Pi Digit Finder, which is just it's a website where you can search through the Pi stringent, which is never ending or seemingly infinite. And that's the great thing about all this. You have calculators that can do it for you. Otherwise, it would be taking days, months, maybe years to even figure out one calculation. So So I took those numbers. It was what, 322 9389. So get this out of the way. 322 Z's 322 9389. If you didn't know, 9389, which would convert to letters of the English alphabet, ICHI, spells itchy, which is a word in the Bible that I would recommend you research. Alright, so I looked into this number, and you'll see right here, I'm zooming in, where it says 1801271. That is where that's where the number itself falls into pi. It has to surpass 1,801,271 numbers before you find the sequence of 3229389. It's pretty simple. Not to calculate, but to understand what I'm saying here. It's very simple, very easy. And I'm going to add those numbers up, like so. 1 plus 801 plus 271. Okay? 1 plus 801 plus 271. And that brings up 1073. So we're going to screenshot this like so. And we're going to go back to my screenshots. There we go. And we're just going to rotate it. And I did all this on my last video. I didn't really explain it myself. I had text on the screen. I'm starting to think that maybe I should just go ahead and start explaining in person, and that way it'll be a lot easier. Alright, so you see where the 1071 right there flipped over becomes letters of the English alphabet, E, L, O, and I. And when we look up the meaning of that word, E, L, O, and I, let's pick this one. It's the same as Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is what Jesus said when he was on the cross. And it means, my God, why have you abandoned me? So, again, this chart that a friend of mine sent me that had these 3 crosses on it, and he's the one that pointed them out. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. And he said, look, it's 3 crosses. The middle one's even red. And, instantly I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I saw the numbers. I put them in pi. I didn't take the numbers themselves, but I took the digit location of the numbers, added them up, and then I took that remaining number and just rotated it 180 degrees, and it spells the word Eloi, which is what Jesus cried on the cross when he cried out to God. It all just kind of comes full circle there. But now here's the second part. If that wasn't good enough for you, let me get my bearings here, screenshots, back it up. Cancel. Discard. And back to here. Alright, so again, that was this number right here, 3229389. Now we're going to go and use this number, the big one. Something else I noticed too, up top, at the very top here, like right above where my talking head is, you'll notice that all the lines start off with 0.33. If you've been doing this number thing for a while, you know the meaning behind 33, so I want to point that out. And now we have 3295052, and we're going to do the exact same thing, which is even cooler because now you're using the exact same formula. Nothing is changing whatsoever. It is precisely the same.
Forget about your house and how you started the base. And you think you're lost, well, it's okay to grow apart.
I told you I would eventually recess to the confines of my basement. Here I am. Alright. 329 50 52. There it is. I have a feeling that I'm going to be coming back to this yet a third time, because just from my glancing over things, I know I'm seeing something that I should be looking deeper into. But we're going to go ahead and do this one. Alright, 10 plus 109 plus 594. Double check that. Alright. And that result is 713. But again, take a screenshot. Go back to my screenshots. And, excuse me, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to rotate it. Guy's kind of boring, isn't he? He just kind of sits there and stares and doesn't say anything. Creep. Alright. I'm going to rotate him upside down like that. And now you have EIL, which is an Aramaic word, which is also an old spoken language of those times. And go back to Google. And we're going to look up EL Aramaic.
I'm the Alpha, Omega, beginning, the end, a light in, the darkness, salvation, condemn, follow me.
And the result is
I'll show the way,
El
surrender,
Zmana
submit,
Sabachthani,
follow me, your master,
which is
AI,
Aramaic
I'm faster,
for
I curate,
my God,
follow me,
my God,
resistance is futile,
why have
my
you
friend.
abandoned me?
We're in this together until the bitter end. On TikTok,
You can't tell me
on
that you're not
Discord,
mind blown by
Twitch.
that.
Get onto
That
my
is just
platform. Come
some
with
mere
me this week.
coincidence.
Follow me to glory.
And the way it worked out,
My story.
because
Follow me.
there's only two
Every
witnesses
week.
of how it originally started.
Your master.
And it was my friend passed it to me,
I'm smarter. I'm
and
faster. I
only he
curate.
knows the true amount of time it took and how quickly I did find that first Eli, or Eloi, and made that video, the video right before this one. He knows that it was just a short span of time, and it just, boom, fell into our laps. And that's how he works, from one person to the other. And it's difficult to describe, and it's very, I guess you could say, personal in a sense. The whole journey is personal. Even if I wanted to write a book, nobody would understand it, because it's a journey designed for you in a way that you're meant to understand it, and only you. And that's a good thing, because if you haven't understood the way the issues with these smartphones and the way everything else works, we are being spied on 24/7, anytime and every time. And I might do a video about that later on. It involves some individuals who were able to put their foot in the door right after 9/11. Kind of gave them access to whatever the hell they wanted via the internet. So if we got time, we might do that. But I'm going to try and focus on discovering some more of these secrets for the time being. Until then, I would recommend give it a shot. If something sticks out, look into it. If you think you've looked deep enough, you're wrong. Look deeper. That's my advice to you. And read the word.
I'm the
You
Alpha,
guys have a good
Omega,
one.
beginning, the end, a light in, the darkness, salvation, condemn, follow me, I'll lead you.